Welcome to Putty and Paint. Today we're going to unplug this sink in my kiddo's bathroom with nothing more than a bowl, a stick, and a roll of paper towels. So stick around if you want to save a couple $100 with the plumber. And let's get into it. Let's go. Alright, first we start by putting the bowl under the sink to catch all the water that's going to dump out. Then you loosen the PVC fittings on the P-trap. Now they do have these two tabs on the fitting for extra leverage when loosening and tightening. So there are two of these fittings, front and back. Now keep in mind, this P-trap will be filled with water, so be careful if you don't want water flying everywhere. If these are over tightened, you can carefully use a pair of channel locks, although I don't advise it. Now I've done this more times than I care to admit, so I'm at the point where I just let it fall in. So when you're done with that, the next step is the rod for the sink plug. So this plastic piece goes up to the control knob and moves the rod up and down that moves the plug inside the sink. Here you loosen the cap that holds a threaded swivel ball. This is actually where a lot of sinks leak because they're too loose. Because it's a fine line from being over tightened and you can't move the plunger, and too loose where the water spills out from behind it. And now you pull out the plunger. Now this is almost always the problem. And yep, there you go. See, nasty. Alright, so now this is where the paper towels come in. So you want to get yourself a good size amount, right? And then you want to take it and hold it like kind of long ways, and you want to roll it like so. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it up, and then you guys can see what the end result is. So that's it in a nutshell. A long tube. And you're going to take this and you're going to shove it down the drain. That's how you're going to clean out that drain. Let's get to it. So you take your end and start shoving it down the drain. Now we're not going to use all of it, so once it gets tight, tear off the excess and then grab your stick and push the paper towel down. And there you go. Alright, and then lastly, we need to clean out this P-trap. Now, what happens is this holds water across here. It keeps all the nasty gases from your sewer lines getting into your house, okay? So when you're brushing your teeth and you spit in there and then you turn off the sink, that spit and all that toothpaste just hangs out right there on the bottom, and then it gums up and gets real nasty. So what you do is you take your paper towel yet again and you shove it in the end here, shove it all the way through, and then pull it out the other side, and then you end up with a nice clean P-trap. I've already gotten it done. See that? Nice and clean. Let's get on to it. Put it back together. The ring that seals the drain on the sink side of the P-trap usually sits a bit higher, so water tends to come up the side of the pipe and leaves it a bit of a mess, so I like to wipe it clean as well. Usually the back side is in better shape. Now this piece is about 9 inches long. It sits way back in the drain. Usually this side is fine because the water is flowing. It doesn't stay stagnant. So I don't usually have to mess with that. And if you do, well, good luck to you, because that's going to be a bit of a pain, and it might be beyond the plumbing of the sink and actually be in your walls or in your foundation. And now we can put it back together the same way we took it off. I usually start with the sink side first. Now these you want to make sure they're good and tight, and you don't want to leave them loose because then you're going to have water under your sink. I also clean the drain rod as well. Now this tends to get the hardest hit of all, and even though they're stainless, it always ends up rusting and falling apart, but thankfully there are replacement kits out there that replace just this piece, so every once in a while you'll find yourself having to replace that piece, but right now mine is in okay shape. So I'll just put it back together. Alright, when you go to put this back into the drain, it's important that you put that with the L facing backwards, facing toward the plunger. It won't have enough leverage at this point, or you might not even reach it at this point to bring it up and down. Now there is an adjustment on the back of the ball where you can thread the ball one way or the other, where you could possibly reach the front. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I have always placed it in this direction. That way it has the most bite, I guess you can say. This will give you the most swing. This will open it the most. So if you adjust the ball all the way back and give it more rod, then you can potentially connect it this way. But for me, I always connect it this way. Let's do it. Now this is usually where I get my son to hold the plunger, but I'm going to give it a go by myself. So I'm going to hold the plunger in the proper position and work the rod through the hole into the plunger, and once I get it, I'll tighten it down and until the outside is tight to the point where I can't move the plunger, and then I'll back it off a quarter turn. Now for some reason it is so easy to cross thread this attachment, so be very careful that you're not screwing it down incorrectly, otherwise you're going to have more to do than you bargained for sure. And there you have it. Bam, Gina, 5 minutes, we're done, and that would just saved us a couple $100 from calling out a plumber. So until next time, you guys keep it real, and we'll see you later.